All right, I see YouTube live.
And Dickerson is also in with us now,
Okay. We all set?
and we are good to go.
Okay, good morning. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting of the County Parks Commission to order. And as of 8 o'clock this morning, we have received 0 public comments by email or phone, and we've received 0 requests to call for public comment during today's meeting. So seeing as we have no public comment, we will move on to the consent agenda items. Just a second before we move to that. Does everybody have the updated agenda where we have 2 new additional items? One is budget amendment for fiscal year 2020 and authorization to waive a park rule.
Yes.
Yep, got it.
Okay. Okay, Barry, it's on you.
No,
No, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. Any commissioner wish to pull anything off the consent agenda?
Move it.
support.
Support.
Motion by Keeler, supported by Washington, I believe, to
Yes, sir.
approve consent agenda items A through C as listed in our packet. Roll call, please.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Henry,
Here.
Keeler,
Yes.
Krapel,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Neely,
yes,
Nolden,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes,
Wright.
Yes.
Okay,
All voting yes, motion carried. Thank you. Now we'll move on to director's report.
Good morning, Commissioners.
morning,
Good
Barry.
morning.
morning.
We have it just seems like these things pile up every week. We always have something going on here. And Nancy's been busy at Keep Genesee County Beautiful, and we need to get your approval to put in some playgrounds at the city parks to keep Genesee County beautiful.
I'll move it.
I'll support it.
Motion by Commissioner Nolden, supported by Washington, to approve the contract with Miracle Recreation for purchase and install a playground and equipment at 3 city parks, and refer to the Board of Commissioners for the approval process. Are there any questions,
Yes.
comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
how many bidders did we have?
This is through a nationwide contract that's been pre-bid. So we didn't have to do a bid for it.
What funds does it come out of?
It comes from funds from the Ruth Bott Foundation. There's no use of general fund or no use of park funds.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Nolden,
Yes.
Neely,
Yes,
Wright,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes,
Yes.
Martin, Henry,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Keeler,
Yes.
Krapel.
Yes.
Okay,
Motion is carried. Thank you.
The next item is we're requesting your approval to award an architectural services contract to H2A Architects for architectural services for the campground.
Move it.
support it.
Mr.
I believe
Chairman,
I had Commissioner Nolden and Commissioner Washington again
Yes, sir.
for approval to award the RFP to H2A Architects for improvements to Wolverine Campground, and refer to the Board of Commissioners for their approval process. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
through you to Barry, were there any other quotes from any other companies?
Yes, there were 4 companies that bid on this. H2A was the low bidder, as well as the 2 lowest bidders were in-county architects, and we're comfortable with H2A. They're using Rowe Professional Services as their engineer, who have recently done work at the campground. I'm very familiar with it.
What's the price tag?
It's priced at $86,700.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Barry.
Any other questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Washington,
Yes,
Neely,
yes,
Martin,
Yes.
Henry.
Yeah.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Keeler,
Yes.
Krapel,
Yes.
Nolden,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Okay,
All voting yes, motion is carried. Thank you.
Next item is we're requesting the Park Commission's approval and the signature of the president on our adopt a park agreements with Keep Genesee County Beautiful.
Move it.
Question.
Support.
Support.
I believe I had Commissioner Dickerson and Commissioner Keeler. Motion and support to approve the adopt-a-park agreements with Keep Genesee County Beautiful. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes. Commissioner Henry?
Yes, please. Do we have any adopted park contracts outside the city of Flint?
We do not. This is part of the Keep Genesee County Beautiful grant program through Ruth Ma Foundation. And their focus is on the North Flint area.
Is it only restricted to that area, Barry?
The Ruth Ma Foundation funds are restricted to North Flint, and we get Keep Genesee County Beautiful money that we can use for some other parks, a few other parks in the south part of the city.
Waterline break or something?
They're all in the city, the whole grant
That's what I was
process.
trying to call Tim for.
Yes, it's all in the city.
And it's restricted to the cities, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yes, it is.
Benzick is done. How's that?
Any other questions?
He resigned or they cut him loose? Who knows?
Roll call, please.
I'll be there.
Martin,
Yes.
Crable,
Yes.
Keeler,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Nolden,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Neely,
yes,
Henry,
Yes,
Dickerson.
Yes.
Okay,
All voting yes, motion carried. Thank you.
The next item is we're requesting your approval to accept a grant from Keep America Beautiful for the MLK Community Grant.
move
Move
approve.
it.
I believe I had Commissioner Dickerson, and I didn't catch the second.
I have Henry.
Henry, a second to approve to accept a grant for Keep America Beautiful MLK Community Grant in the amount of $6,000, I believe.
$10,000 total.
10,000? I'm sorry, Barry. What was the amount?
$10,000 total.
$10,000 total. And any questions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Is this one just allocated for the city of Flint, or can this be used in other parks?
This is requested for the Martin Luther King Jr. corridor and neighborhood building projects. So that would be within the city.
Yeah, right there on Martin Luther King and McClellan. Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Neely,
yes,
Martin,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes,
Keeler,
Yes.
Crable,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Nolden.
Yes.
Okay,
All voting yes, motion carried. Thank you.
Next item is we're asking your support in the form of a resolution for a ballot proposal for the Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund amendment.
Move it.
Could you repeat that, Barry?
I'll support it.
We're
I
asking.
have Commissioner Washington making the motion and didn't get the
I support
second.
it. I support it.
Commissioner Nolden. Questions?
I think Jeff had
I got a
question.
comment.
I didn't hear what Barry said.
We're going to go with Commissioner Keeler, then I don't know, Commissioner Washington and Wright.
No, it was just, I was gonna say it was, Commissioner Wright had a question.
I didn't hear Barry when he explained it.
So the ballot proposal, currently the Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund funds are restricted so that when they award grants, 75% of the money has to be spent on acquisitions, 25% on improvements. The amendment will allow them to spend up to 75% on improvements and a minimum of 25% for acquisitions. But that 50% spread, they'll be able to split between at their discretion between acquisitions and improvements. So there'll be more money available for improvements, essentially.
Thank you.
Commissioner Keeler, did you have a comment?
Yeah, a comment and a question. When you're saying improvements, that's like maintenance on the trail?
Not maintenance. These are for traditional things that we can apply for construction of, like what we're doing at Bluebell Beach, or if we're building a new trail. There's no money available for maintenance.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because, you know, a lot of people have been getting grants over the years, and it doesn't take but about 4 or 5 years. You got to start doing maintenance on these existing trails, or they start cracking, and once they crack, water gets in there, and then the winter they heave. So that would have been a good thing too. But
Right.
my other thing was, as soon as I read this, I went online to see if any major groups out there are opposing it or who's supporting it. And right now, there are no groups in Michigan opposing this. Everybody's supporting it.
Any other questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Can't
Crable?
hear you. There you go.
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Keeler,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Neely,
yes,
Nolden.
Yes.
Okay,
All voting yes, motion carried. Thank you.
Next item is we're asking you to have the ability to extend the campground season maybe a couple of more weeks, or as required, depending on the weather. Initially, we only asked for permission for October 12th, and we're thinking that if the weather's good, we may be able to extend the season a little bit more.
So move.
Support.
Support.
I get Commissioner Henry and Commissioner Washington to approve the park staff to extend the camping season at Wolverine as needed based on seasonal conditions. Questions? I think Barry did tell me you were half full this weekend,
Yes. Normally
Well,
we'd be closed.
so that's pretty good. Roll call, please.
Martin,
Yes.
Cripple,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Keeler,
Yes.
Nolden,
Yes.
Neely.
yes,
Okay,
All voting yes, motion carried. Thank you.
Next item is we're asking your approval to purchase lumber from Iverson Lumber Company for the purpose of constructing a pole barn for train car storage.
I'll move it.
Question and I'll support.
Mr. Chairman?
Did I get Commissioner Nolden and Commissioner Henry
Yeah. Yes.
to approve the expenses over $10,000 and refer to the Board of Commissioners for the approval process for a pole barn package for railroad car storage?
Question.
Commissioner Henry.
How good is the bid good? How long is the bid good for is my question.
Well, I think it should be good until we get approval from the Board of Commissioners.
Well, the question I have, Barry, I met with actually 4 of the salesmen for Iverson last Friday. The price currently of OSB, just for example, has skyrocketed to 27. I'm suggesting maybe we ride out the storm for a little bit of time and watch the pricing before we move forward with giving you the authorization up to a dollar amount. Because the prices are crazy right now.
Right, and we were planning on having our staff put this up this fall because we've got cars, in the past, we've tarped some of these cars and the tarps are bad and they're $2,500 a piece for the tarps. And we're figuring if we're gonna spend that kind of money, we might as well just put up a building to put them in.
I'm just saying it might even be worthwhile studying steel versus wood.
Oh, well, this is just for the wood. Well, you know, I'm not sure if it is gonna be a steel pole barn. I'm not sure if the steel is included in this bid. A portion of it. I don't have it in front of me.
I mean, the price quotes now aren't, they told me they're only good for even a week. So I'm right now, even the availability.
Right, there has been some issues with availability with the treated lumber, but we've got, they said they've got the poles on order, so we're locked in for the poles.
Okay.
And the rest of it is just 2x4s and some 16-foot trusses. This building's only 16 feet wide.
Oh, really? You can build that.
Yeah, so it's just gonna cover one track and we're gonna be able to back our cars right in there.
Gotcha.
Commissioner Wright, did you have a comment?
I was gonna ask how big it was, number one.
It's gonna be 16 feet wide and 250 feet long.
Did you contact or try to contact General Steel? Because General Steel is all steel structure, no wood. And they have got some super deals going right now.
No, we didn't because this is a wood structure is something our staff can build. If you contact General Steel, they're gonna want to put it up,
Well,
yeah, the cost of
have you ever
it.
looked into General Steel ever?
No,
They're easy, they're just as easy to build as a wood one, believe me. In fact, they're easier because the pieces are like a puzzle. As opposed to you have to measure out and get the wood post centered just perfect and all the other stuff.
right.
Actually, the steel buildings are easier to put up than the wood ones.
Well, we'll keep that in mind for the next one because we're gonna have a couple other buildings we're gonna want to do in the next.
And what
couple
was the
years.
price on this 250 footer?
Pardon?
What was the price on this 250 footer?
27,678 for the materials.
Thank you.
Hey, Joe, I got a question. Barry, if you do entertain the idea, General Steel, is there a way you can find out what the labor charge would be, or is that variable?
Well, I've never dealt with them. Maybe Commissioner Wright can answer that question.
Well, you can, there's two ways to do it, Jim. You can hire them to install it or you can put it in yourself. The reality is, I put in both. And the steel structures, in my opinion, are easier to put up than the wood structures. For the basic reasons, they are made to fit together perfectly. Every bolt goes to a certain hole. Every column and beam is measured out perfectly. When you get these wood structures, you've got to do a lot of measuring and make sure things are centered perfectly, or your sheeting doesn't go on correctly, your roofing doesn't go on correctly. You got a lot of adjustments. I can give you an example of a 150 foot by 100 foot steel structure we just priced out. It was $48,000, but it's much bigger overall area than what you're talking about, 15 by 250. This was 150 by 100. And it will accommodate, that included the doors to take semi trucks, the whole 9 yards. Does this kit you're talking about, Barry, include the doors?
Yeah, there's no doors.
So it's open at each end?
They'll be closed on the one end.
How do you close it? Oh, enclosed
Yes,
and open on the other.
right. If the commissioner's pleasure, they could give us a maximum expense to spend and then we could look into it. My only concern is if we don't get it on the Board of Commissioners agenda, they have limited meetings between now and the end of the year. And if we don't get it on there, we'll be into a January, February approval process.
Well, I wouldn't have a problem giving you the 28,000 you're looking for as a max to spend. I don't think that a 250 by, what'd you say, 15?
16.
16 is anything standard. So I'm not sure General Steel or anybody else could really put that together for you in a short period of time, because they literally manufacture it to your spec. And I don't think they could do it that quickly. I mean, they're into more rectangular and square structures as opposed to spaghetti, 15 by 250.
Commissioner Wright, if I understand the steel structure, they have to be installed on a cement slab, is that correct?
Concrete,
Concrete, yes. Well, they don't have to be installed on a concrete slab. But they have to be, just like the wood structures, they have to go down below the frost line. And typically what they would do is put a pier or a concrete pier down to 42 or 44 inches and set their column on that pier. Now, what you're probably planning on doing with the wood is just sinking the wood in the ground to 42 to 48 inches.
Correct.
So there's not much difference. You do not need a concrete floor, you just need a concrete pier. So you dig your hole just like you would for the wood. Instead of sticking the wood down in the hole and pouring concrete around it, you just fill the hole with concrete and set your column on top of that concrete.
And we could do
But
that.
again, I don't think, and when I asked the question initially, I didn't realize you were talking about 250 by 15. That's pretty odd. And I understand why you do it that way. I'm not sure
Hey, Bear-
General Steel could take care of you anyhow.
Hey, Barry,
Yes.
to deal with the prices of lumber, does this lumber company, like some of the corporate ones, guarantee their prices over like 30 days or something?
I know there's been some talk about it, but I'm not familiar. I didn't get the bids on this. Matt Armstrong did, and he's called in sick today, so I can't ask him these questions.
Okay,
but-
because where I'm going with this is one time I was building onto a cabin that we inherited, and just when I went to order the lumber, OSB went through the roof because of, I think, hurricane season. But 1 month later, 29 days later, the price had dropped like almost $5 a sheet. And I went back, gave them all my records, and they refunded me $5 a sheet, and I was able to walk out of there with a shower stall. So, you know, if these places guarantee those prices for 30 days, that's if they go down, then you can go back in there and get reimbursed for the difference.
I'm sure that Iversons will work with us.
Okay.
Any more questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Nolden,
yes,
Washington,
yes,
Neely,
yes,
Martin,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes,
Dickerson,
Yes.
Krapel,
Yes.
Keeler,
Yes.
Henry.
yes,
Okay,
All voting yes, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is to approve budget amendments for the fiscal year ending 2020.
move
Move
it,
it.
support,
Oh, did you get those, Melissa?
I have a motion by Nolden and a support by Washington.
yes,
To approve the budget amendments and refer to the Board of Commissioners for the approval process. Questions? Roll call, please.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Wright,
yes,
Washington,
yes,
Henry,
yes,
Nolden,
yes,
Keeler,
Yes.
Krapel,
Yes.
Neely,
yes,
Martin.
Yes.
Okay,
All voting yes, motion carried. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is we're asking for your authorization to waive a park rule for the BMX track.
move it,
support,
What?
You get that again, Melissa?
I have a motion by Nolden and support by Washington.
To approve authorization to waive the park rule and allow BMX races to be held on select dates. Is that just the Wednesdays or are they asking for the Sundays too?
They're asking for at least the one Sunday. They didn't specify past that. I just got the email last night. So I thought I better get it in front of you because the dates are before the next park commission meeting.
I asked the director if we would consider some type of barricade to keep access to the rest of the park after dark restricted so that we don't have a problem with people going in there after normal hours, and then we wouldn't have any control of that. He said that he could set up some type of barricade. Are there any other questions or comments on this request?
So this is for something after hours?
Yes, because usually they do these in the summertime when it's dark and it's light until 10 o'clock. So I anticipate these races to probably run till 9. So maybe an hour and a half past dark, which was the normal, or dusk, the normal closing time of the park. And they're trying to catch up because of COVID. They weren't able to do races earlier in the summer, so they're trying to catch those races up and actually get them in this year.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Keeler,
Yes.
Kribel,
Yes.
Martin.
Yeah.
Neely,
Yes.
Nolden,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Okay.
All voting yes, motion carried. Thank you.
Guys, I'm gonna have to get off because I have another event I have to get to. So guys, have a great weekend.
Stay safe.
Meeting.
You too, buddy.
The last item is information only. We just wanted to let you know we've been supporting the census this summer by allowing them to use pavilions for training and informational issues. That's all I've got.
Have no other old business or new business. Commissioner Wright, it's good to see you today. Do you have anything additional for us?
When we're gonna get together live and in person?
I hope very soon.
You mean?
I really do. Commissioner Neely, do you have anything for us today?
Just to let Barry know, I sent information for the Halloween drive-through to our early Head Start, so they're gonna post it on their website.
Great.
Commissioner Washington, good to see you. Anything for us today?
No, sir, I'm good.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes, I just want to make mention, I saw Mr. Kehoe at the Davidson Hotel about a week ago, and very pleasant. He asked, he made mention about me not being on the, not being on the county board next year, and wished me luck and thanked what I did on the Parks Commission. So it was very pleasant. It was nice to get a little comment that was pleasant like that.
Good news. Commissioner Henry, do you have anything for us today?
I have a question to the board and to Barry. Probably doesn't surprise you, but do we do any kind of color tour, announced color tour in the fall?
We don't have a color tour per se, but we do have a pick a park challenge right now. We're trying to get everyone to visit all 50 locations that we have this fall and take photos and send them to us. And part of that challenge is the winner will get to be on a Channel 12 commercial. So it's not a color tour, but it's essentially a color tour.
Why I ask is I on MLive, they're always promoting various color tours. This might be a plus for the parks. Other than that, have a great week.
Thank you. You
Best
too.
place to see colors, top at Toboggan Hill.
Oh, absolutely.
Commissioner Dickerson, do you have anything for us this morning?
No, have a good weekend and stay safe.
You too. Commissioner Keeler?
Hey, Barry, the trail maintenance you guys did, the top coating, filling the cracks, that came out fantastic. That was minimal disturbance with the people using the trail. That filling the cracks, I don't know how they got that so smooth, but you can hardly feel it when you're going over it, but it was pretty much needed. And I have a request. Can you guys check with maybe Ruth Mott or with Mott to see if they would be willing to fund you guys to do that for the next section from Carpenter Road up to Dorta Highway? Because those two sections in there behind the water plant, those really need crack repair, and they could probably use the top coat also.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll see. There's some asphalt repair that needs to be done on some of that as well. So
Yes.
I'll see what we can do about that. We got several things going, but you know, it is on our agenda to make sure that all the trails get maintained on a semi-regular basis. As like you observed, we've re-asphalted those trails that you're talking about within the last 7 to 8 years, and now we're trying to get on a 5-year rotation so that we can make those trails last 25 to 30 years without any major repair.
Yeah, and I noticed a lot of people that were using the trails have noticed that we're keeping up with the repairs. And I think that goes over really well with people, that we're taking good care of, you know, things that we spend a lot of money on. So I think that goes a long ways. And I believe that's all I got. Thanks. You guys have a good weekend.
Okay. Well, I have no other business on the agenda, and if there's no objection to adjourning, we will stand adjourned. Thank you. Have a
Okay.
good day and stay safe.
Thank you.